Day 16. Just win the day. On January 10th, 2011, the Auburn Tigers took on the Oregon Ducks for the NCAA College Football Championship. Oregon went into the game as underdogs, having never held the coveted title. But they wouldn't have been there at all if it were not for their coach, Chip Kelly. His approach to the game of football is rather unique. To use his words, Coach Kelly wants his players to win the day. People think far too down the road. You better take care of what you got to do today. If we talk about winning the day 35 days from now, then we're talking out the side of our mouth. Coach Kelly's win the day motto brought the Oregon Ducks to the NCAA Football Championship for the last 2 seasons. This motto could be applied to how we live as Christians. Matthew chapter 6, verse 34 tells us not to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own worries, and they can be dealt with later. Our primary goal should be to get through today. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 25, Jesus gets more specific about our worries. He tells us not to worry at all about our daily needs, like how to get food on the table or keep clothes on our back. To demonstrate, he looks to the sky and uses the birds as his first example. Birds don't worry about their food. They live in nests and tend to their young. Their primary focus is not on yielding a crop or obtaining enough food to get through a harsh winter. When it comes to food, a bird is only concerned about its next meal. Birds only go looking for food when they or their young are hungry. Jesus then gently reminds his listeners that God considers humans more valuable than birds. Next, Jesus compares the beauty of the flowers to the beauty and splendor of King Solomon. After the death of his father, King Solomon didn't feel as though he was ready to be king. But seeing as his father had died and the responsibility was now on his shoulders, Solomon turned to God for help. Feeling overwhelmed, he humbly asks the Lord to give him the ability to be both wise and impartial in governing his people. God grants his request and then some. Because Solomon asked for wisdom instead of a long life, wealth, or help in slaying his enemies, the Lord not only made him the wisest king that ever lived, but also gave him wealth and notoriety. And if he would obey God as much as his father David did, Solomon would have long life as well. See 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 3 to 14. Jesus says, despite all that he had, Solomon doesn't compare to the majesty of a lily. By human standards, a lily is worthless, for they are here today and gone the next. Yet God still cares for them, crafting them into matchless beauty. If God put so much attention into a tenuous flower, God will definitely look after us. At this point, you might be asking what that looks like on a practical level. Consider these examples. A woman whose cupboards are bare gets a visit from her neighbor. The neighbor was given a basket of food but cannot eat it due to allergies. Refusing to let it go to waste, the neighbor offers it as a gift. A missionary is home on furlough, needing a special shampoo to fight his dandruff. Having him over for lunch one day, you mention you bought the wrong shampoo. You meant to buy the one for dry and damaged hair. You bought the bottle that says dandruff by mistake. You wonder if the missionary might find a use for it in his travels. A student is walking in deep snow, making her way to school. A complete stranger pulls over and offers her a ride. The possibilities are endless, but the bottom line is, in God's eyes, we have infinite value, and he will stop at nothing to care for us. So what's the worry? Just win the day.